learners, and welcome to another segment of Learn IT with Encarta. In this tutorial, we are going to start our class on how to build a website from the scratch. If you are a beginner, you don't have any experience in building websites, this tutorial is for you. But before I proceed, I want you to follow, like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so that you don't miss the rest of the tutorials, because it's going to be a continuous class. Today's class is for the introduction. The next class is going to build upon this introduction. It will continue like that until we are able to finish with the class, hoping that you'll be able to come out with your website by the close of the class. All right. Now, before I proceed, I want to explain to you the basic parts of a website. As you can see on the screen, I have a website from imageline.com. You can see some text on the screen, some images, some videos, a whole lot on the page. All these were kept on the page using what we call HTML. Now, if you look at the text, you could see that some are bigger than others. They are of different colors. There are images positioned in some areas. Some of the texts are in the middle, some are on the left side, some are on the right, and so on. That is text styling achieved using something we call CSS, Cascading Style Sheet. And then when I hover the cursor, when I move the cursor around some of the text, you can see that some things are popping up, automations. When I hover, some of the background colors are changing, as you can see. The background color for this is changing. When I click some of these buttons, they are likely to take me to different web pages. That is the interactivity in the website. That was also achieved using something we call JavaScript. So a website is basically made up of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We are going to take our time and take you through them one by one, hoping that if you are able to follow from beginning to the end of the class, you should be able to come out with your own interactive website. Okay. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. Okay. Now, to start building your website, you don't need any top-notch application on your laptop to begin. Any person with a simple laptop or a computer, once they understand the basics, are ready to start building their own web pages. All you need is a simple text editor. By default, Microsoft has a text editor in Windows called Notepad. So when I click on my start menu here and type notes, I should be able to open my notepad. This is it. So from this notepad, I can start coding in HTML to get my web page. All right. And secondly, when you are building a web page, you should be able to organize all the files you are creating inside one folder. So I have created this folder, my page, which currently there is nothing inside. That's where all my files are going to be. Okay. Now, to start coding in HTML, it is so easy, and this is how it starts. Assuming this is the text editor we are using, Notepad, there are other text editors like Notepad++, Sublime Text, VS Code, and others, a whole lot of them. I personally like using VS Code, and that is what I'll be using in the rest of the tutorial. All right. Now, the first thing you do is to come to the file and save as. So I'm going to pick this my page folder, which is on the desktop. When I scroll down, it's here. So I'm going to name my first page index. Now this is where the trick starts. When you are naming your files, you have to give it the extension of the file you are creating. I'm currently coding in HTML, so I have to add the extension .html and save. Okay, it is saved. So when I open my page folder, I should see this file inside. All right. Now, to start coding HTML, there is something we call boilerplate code. A boilerplate code is a code that is used repeatedly in a particular type of document. For instance, Assuming you work in an office, and for every official letter you prepare, you put yours faithfully, dot 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 dot, then your name and the signature that appears. Now, once you do that in every official letter you prepare, that yours faithfully and the signature part becomes what we call a boilerplate. So every website you see in the world, including Facebook, Amazon, this image line website I just opened, any website you can think of was developed from that particular boilerplate. It's a set of code, and this is how the code looks like. This is how the code looks like. I'm going to explain each of them for you to understand them shortly. So once I have this, I click File and Save. Now when I come to my page folder and double click on this, it should open in a browser. It should open in a browser. Now you can see the name of the file I created, index.html, at the top. Now there is nothing in the page because I have not typed anything in this my boilerplate yet. All right. Now we are going to explain the boilerplate. To code in HTML, you use, okay, let me start this way. Assuming this is the boilerplate, each line in HTML is called an element. It is called an element. And to create an element, you use something we call tags. Tag. What is a tag? A tag is any item that is enclosed in less than and greater than sign. For instance, assuming my name is Anyas, so when I put this less than, type Anyas and close it, that means I have created an Anyas tag. So when I come down and say, oh, okay, my nickname is Nkata, so close that, I have created an Nkata tag. So every element in an HTML document is created using tags. Now, we have opening tags and we have end closing tags. So for instance, if this is an Anyas tag, that means that I'm going to put something on the web page, but that time is going to be inside this particular tag. So once this I have this tag, I can say, okay, this is my name. After putting in the text I want to appear in that element, I have to close that tag. Now, how do I close the tag? You close the tag using the same less than, Anyas, greater than, to close the tag. By then, to show that it is a closing tag, we come to the beginning of the name Anyas and put this /. That means that we have closed the tag. So supposing I'm creating another tag, the Nkata tag. So I will do this, then type the text I want to type. Let's say Nkata is very educative. I finished typing the text I wanted to appear in that element. So I'll close the tag by using this, use the /, then type my Nkata again. So, and close. That means that I have closed the tag. So this is how you create tags in HTML. Now, to create the boilerplate, or shall I say the beginning code with which to start building your website, the first tag you create is to declare the type of document you are creating. And you do that by doing this, putting the exclamation mark and typing doc type. This doc type, oh, not DCOP, it should be DOC, yes, DOCP, doc type. It simply means document type. It means you are telling the text editor the type of document you are creating in it. In this case, it is HTML. So you close that tag. Please kindly note that I told you whenever you are creating tags, we have opening and then closing. But it is not every tag that has a closing tag. And this doc type is one of those tags. This doesn't have a closing tag. All right. So after specifying the type of tag you are creating, the type of document you are creating, which is HTML, then we come to the next line. We are now coming to create a tag to contain all the information of our page, and that is the HTML tag. So you create the HTML, then we close that. By now you should understand how to open and close a tag. So this is the HTML tag. So we have told the text editor that we are creating an HTML document using this line, and now we have created our HTML tag, inside which you are going to put the information of all our page. So that means that the information we are going to put on our page is going to appear in the middle here, in between the closing HTML and the closing HTML tag. All right. So inside that HTML, assuming you are in an office and I bring a document like this to you, let's say, oh, let me open another text editor. Assuming I bring something like this to you. Oh, let me see. 1, Agnes. 2, Sophia. 3, Teresa. Assuming you are in an office, I print a list like this and come and give it to you. I will have to stand there and answer some questions from you to show the meaning of this particular list. Some of the possible questions you are likely to ask me is, what is this list for? Who are these people? Why are you giving them to me? I will have to stand there and explain. That is because the list I've given to you has no meaning. But assuming I add something like this, let's say beneficiaries of the minister's scholarship scheme. Supposing I type something like this with a name, with names under, and I come and give it to you, I can confidently walk out and go away without having to stand there to explain everything to you, because there is a heading that explains the purpose of the document. That explains the list of names I have given to you. Now, the same thing applies to HTML. So now I have created my doc type, and I've created the tag that is going to contain all the items of my page. Now, the next thing I have to do is to indicate a heading for my page. So with that, let me move forward small and create a head tag. I have to close that as well. Head. So after the head, I also have to have a body for my web page. So I'll have to close and create another tag, which is the body of the web page. Close. So that means that the head of the web page and then the body of the web page are all going to be inside the HTML. This is to tell you that every information you are going to put on the web page is going to fall within this HTML. You can't type anything outside the HTML tags. The head is inside the HTML. The body is also inside the HTML. All right, so we can save that. So now, since we double click on this, we did double click on this to open this. Let me resize it aside so that I can be comparing it with the text editor. So let me put this aside and then open my text editor. Just resize that to and put this to on the side so that I can be previewing what I'm doing for you to be able to follow effectively. Now, so when I save my modifications and reload the page, you see that still nothing is showing on my page. That is because I'm creating the tags, but I'm not putting anything into them. Now, I've told the text editor that I have a heading for my page, which is using this head element, and I also have a body. But what information am I putting in the head? The head must have a title. So I have to come inside the head here bring this down. Please note, when you create an open and a closing tag, and they are standing side by side each other, or one is on top of each other, they are the same thing. Whatever you tap in between is inside that particular element. So inside the head element, I want to give my page a title. So I will come in here and create another tag and call this the title. So let me save this and reload my page. Still nothing is showing. That is because I've created a title tag, but I've not typed anything inside it. So when I come to the title tag here and type, say, okay, this is my test page, and I save. Now let me reload my page. Now look at the top of the tab. Look at the top of the, you can see that the text I typed inside the title has appeared here. That is how you handle HTML. So now the heading is actually one of the few things that go inside the head tag, the head elements. Not much information goes inside the head element. The head element only contains the title plus a few tags we can add. As we progress in the tutorial, you get to see those ones. But the remaining of the tags, majority, almost everything will be going inside the body element. All right. So when I bring this body, the closing tag for the body element down, I can come in between and start building the body of the web page. For instance, there is a particular element we call the heading element. In the body, you can create another heading. So you use that by creating the heading tag. So the heading tag goes like, say, H1, then you close it. I told you every tag you create, you open, it must have a closing tag. Hey, how do I close this? I have to put the / here. So let me say I'm typing something here. Hello, my name is Nkata. So let me save this. Now when I reload my page, you still see the text in the body appearing on my page. So that is how you start building with HTML. But then I told you that there are a whole lot of text editors. We have the Notepad, which I'm using currently. We have Notepad++, we have Sublime Text, and we have VS Code. I'm going to end with the introduction for HTML here, and we'll continue in the next tutorial. By then, before we continue, next time, you must have downloaded and installed VS Code. VS Code, that's Visual Studio Code on your PC. That's why we are going to continue next. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, share, comment, and turn on the notification button so that when we upload the next tutorial, you will also get it. See you next time. Thank you very much.